Hello, and welcome back to Documenting and Exposing West Shore RCMP. This is part 17. So, I am summoned back to court, so let's load up the spaceship with rocket fuel and get ready for a time warp. Here's a video from October 9th, 2019. Hello, good citizens. My name is Dan. Today is October 9th, 2019, and I am just up the street from the Western Communities Courthouse. Just had to make another appearance here. Prosecutor Nicholas Barber dragged me into court again, another day off work, just to tell the judge that the RCMP violated the judge's court order to produce the disclosure, all my videos, within 30 days. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff too. So unfortunately, my associate and good friend, Mr. Dean, Bruce Dean, was not available to make it today due to health issues. So I was going to do a quick video at the courthouse, but there was a bunch of police there from West Shore RCMP, so I thought maybe I'll just go up the road and do it. In case you weren't aware, photography is a crime. Yeah, so we were in front of Judge Brooks this morning. What a fantastic judge he is, and I'm not being sarcastic, I'm being serious. Anyways, long story short, we are back in court now on in January 2020 for another one of these little bogus, yeah, we forgot to do this, we forgot to do that, thanks to the Crown. I actually asked the judge if we could not schedule another date for one of these because they're extremely annoying, especially when you work for a living. So, so now the videos that I took that day were supposed to be disclosed no later than October 3rd, 2019. Judge Lisa Merznosky even told me that I can expect a call well before October 3rd. Well, the first call I received was October 3rd, and that was the RCMP to tell me that they are not ready to disclose this material. I'm just going to cut it short here. So that is the update, and I should have the videos in 2 weeks from today. They didn't put a date, they just said in 2 weeks. So it's kind of busy and crazy around here. I gotta get out of here. So that's your update for October 9th, 2019. Should have another update in January 2020. Thanks for watching. So before I get into the details of this court hearing, I just want to say that it's extremely unfortunate that this court hearing was off the record. It was never recorded, and therefore I cannot get a transcript for this hearing. I even ordered the transcript anyways. I just played dumb and just, pretended I didn't know it was off the record. And I ordered it anyways, and I got the official word here, because you never know unless you look into it yourself. Here's the official response that it was not recorded, it was off the record, and therefore cannot be transcribed, which, as I said, is extremely unfortunate because you guys would have got to see a transcript from a judge that should be the standard in our criminal justice system. I walked out of this court hearing in a slight state of shock after seeing this judge in action. I've probably been in front of, I don't know, 10 judges, half a dozen justices of the peace, and this is the only judge I've ever been in front of where I could say, this meets my expectation. This is what a judge should be. This is how a judge should act. This is how a judge should treat the people before him. This judge did things I've never seen other judges do or ever heard other judges say. So thankfully, Judge Brooks knew that this hearing was going to be off the record, and he wrote up a detailed and thorough pretrial conference report in writing, and then sent this to me the next day. So this is basically just a summary in writing of the hearing we just had. And I'm going to read it out to you. This is directly from Judge Adrian Brooks. Normally I do the text-to-speech voice here, but since we don't have an actual transcript and to save a little time, I'm just going to read this out to you from my own voice. The second day of trial is adjourned. due to Mr. Barber's unavailability. The parties are directed to the JCM to obtain a day 2 for trial outside of the dates of March 16th to March 30th. Disclosure ordered to be provided by October 3rd, videos from all devices of Dan, will be provided within 14 days of today's date. Dan asserts his rights to privacy with respect to his cell phone and does not consent to the police access to that cell phone. Dan makes the following disclosure requests, including what is referred to in his letters to Crown and marked as Exhibit 1 on this pre-trial conference. Number 1. Videos from his devices. This request is the same as the first item referred to above, which is to be delivered within 14 days of today's date. Full disclosure, including transcripts of audios, if such exist. Mr. Barber will disclose them. Number 3. A copy of all police discussion, etc. Mr. Barber will inquire whether such exists. If they do not, he will advise Dan. If they do, he will disclose. Number 4. A copy of all CPIC profile information, as Dan may wish to mount a charter challenge to the admissibility of evidence. His CPIC information and any prime information is to be located by Mr. Barber and disclosed to Dan. If any information is not disclosed to Dan, he is to be told of what is not disclosed and why. Number 5. Any warrants obtained and the supporting documentation. Any documentation supporting the retention of exhibits and any warrants with supporting documentation that were sought but rejected. And then he finishes this off with the next pretrial conference is January 8th, 2020. So since I don't have a transcript, let's go back to the beginning and let's review, shall we? So the first thing here is the second day of trial is adjourned due to Mr. Barber's unavailability. And that's basically because we set a second day of trial. And Mr. Barber, shortly after, just figured out that he's not available that day. So now we got to go figure out another date to put on the calendar for the second day of trial. And the next thing is the disclosure. And I love how Judge Brooks starts this off with disclosure ordered to be provided by October 3rd, this being October 9th. Notice that Judge Brooks just actually did something. He just put something on the record that no other judge has ever done throughout this entire proceeding. And then he says the videos from all the devices will be provided within 14 days of today's date. And he's putting it on the record that I did not consent to the search of my cell phone. And here's another thing Judge Brooks is going to do that no other judge even considered doing. So do you remember the two previous judges? Judge Christine Lowe and Judge Lisa Mrozinski, and how I told them I wrote Mr. Barber 4 letters for disclosure? Judge Christine Lowe didn't even want to hear about it. And when I held them up in the air in front of Judge Lisa Mrozinski, she told me not to do that. However, when Judge Brooks found out about these 4 letters, he asked the court clerk to get them copied so that he could put them in the file and mark them as Exhibit 1. Wow! A judge that actually does what a judge is supposed to do? Wow! So number 1 is pretty straightforward. He's basically saying it's the same request as the first one, almost a year ago. Number 2, that was one of the things I asked for, is that if they were going to use any of the videos and transcribe audio, I wanted a transcript of those. Number 3 was another thing I asked for was the radio communications back and forth between the RCMP when they were discussing me at their detachment and what they were discussing about me as they're arresting me. Number 4 is very interesting. So I'm asking for a copy of all CPIC, that's the Canadian Police Information Center, profile information. This is something that I've been asking for all along, and Mr. Barber's telling me he's not going to give it to me. So now Judge Brooks is ordering a copy of that. And then Judge Brooks says, as Dan may wish to mount a charter challenge to the admissibility of the evidence in his CPEC information and any prime information to be located. So CPEC and prime are basically when police look you up and all the information that they've entered into their system about you, it's all there for all the police to look at. So whatever they say about you, it's there and it's all true, right? So that's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for what they're relying on, because they relied on my CPIC and Prime files to recommend charges. Remember, they recommended charges based on the totality of the circumstances and my past history. And I found it really interesting that Judge Brooks brought up the charter challenge, because I never actually mentioned that during this hearing. But he was sort of leading that direction, because he was telling Mr. Barber, yeah, you have to provide this. Like, he's already asked for it. Like, why haven't you given it to him? You have to provide this to him. And Mr. Barber's like, oh, yeah, but, and Judge Brooks, like, basically politely tore a strip off and saying, no, what if he wants to do a charter challenge? He has to look at it. He has to rely on what you and the police have written about him. And he has the right to challenge that. And you don't have the right to withhold that. And if you don't disclose it, he can't challenge it. And that's not right, Mr. Barber. And again, this is what I expect out of our judges. This is what no other judge brought up. No other judge even considered going down this path. And then Judge Brooks follows up in number 4, says, if any information is not disclosed to Dan, he is to be told of what is not disclosed and why. Just amazing. And in number 5, we go into the warrants. And this is actually the thing I'm most disappointed about this being off the record was I kept referring to their warrants as false warrants. I wouldn't call them warrants during this hearing. I would always refer to them as false warrants. It was just hilarious. So the entire time we're talking about these warrants, well, I don't believe that they're even going to apply for any more false warrants, saying stuff like that. So what I'm asking for is just a copy of all the warrants, or false warrants, and any documentation that are supporting them. And I'm also asking for any warrants that they applied for and got rejected, and the documents that support all that. So if they went to apply for a warrant and they got rejected, I want all the paperwork on it. And that's basically how that ended. There was more to it than that, but Judge Adrian Brooks, oh my gosh, what an amazing judge. Absolutely amazing. Why can't they all be like that? Speaking of amazing judges, looks like I'm due back in court January 8th, 2020. So while we wait for that timeline to elapse, let's try to finish off October 2019 in this here video. So let's jump back in the time machine and let's go to October 18th, 2019.
46, sent by unknown caller.
A message for Dan. It's Corporal DeVell, West Shore RCMP. Just got your thumb drive with the video disclosure and the photographs available for you. I was hoping to meet with you today on Friday. So please contact me at 250 or 6. If you're unavailable today, I may be able to have you connect with Constable Knock on Monday. Unfortunately, I'm out of town next week. So hope to hear from you. Take care.
To replay this message, press...
Corporal DeVell here.
Hi, sir. It's Dan returning your call.
Oh, hey, Dan. Yeah, thanks for calling.
Yeah. Well, I was actually supposed to be work today, but I had to work the stat, so they gave me today off work. So luckily, I'm able to connect with you today.
Okay. Are you able to meet at the courthouse?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Yeah, I've got the thumb drive with the material there for you.
Okay. Does 1 o'clock work for you?
1 o'clock sounds great.
Okay. Was there anything else?
Nope, that's it. So I've got. You'll see that it's it's got some editing to it, but that's we'll have it all ready for you. So.
Okay.
Okay. See you there at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Hello, good citizens. My name is Dan. I'm here at the Western Communities Courthouse in the pouring rain. Today is October 18th, 2019. I've just actually picked up my disclosure from all my videos from my false arrest on July 25th, which is now turned out to be a malicious prosecution. Ironically, I had my first appearance here exactly 1 year ago today, where I gave the Crown in writing my request for the videos to be disclosed. Here it is on a thumb drive. This is exactly 1 year to the day from when I requested this material that I have now received it. Pretty funny. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Well, there we go. I finally have my videos disclosed after an entire calendar year of asking. 4 letters to the prosecutor and 2 judges that were jonesing to go for a smoke break. Later, I finally found myself in front of Judge Adrian Brooks, and he set it all straight. So I was thinking on my way home, this would be a great opportunity to sit down with my friend Bruce Dean and watch some of this footage for the very first time, as neither of us have seen any of these videos. You got to remember, all these videos were recorded almost a year and a half prior to me receiving them on October 18th, 2019. So I thought what we should do is watch the chest-mounted camera portion of the interaction with the West Shore RCMP and do like a reaction video where we're actually filming ourselves watching it for the first time, and you'll get to see our reactions watching this video for the first time. So that'll be the next video. And just to give you a little example of what the RCMP did to my videos, here's footage from the camcorder that I had mounted on the tripod that I had sitting basically on the sidewalk. And this camcorder had hours and hours of footage on it, just like this, where I'd gone around to police departments, RCMP detachments, and even a prison, and basically had this rolling recording video almost the entire time I was there, or the entire time I was there. So this had hours and hours of footage on it that they had to spend weeks and weeks redacting out the public. I can't imagine how much the RCMP wasted in public funding your tax dollars, redacting hours and hours of basically B-roll footage of the public. It took them weeks to get this done. But let's be honest, even spending an hour on this nonsense, that's a huge waste. And here's something I found really interesting when I went through my videos that they redacted. Here's a video shot from the Wilkinson Road Prison, the Vancouver Island Regional Correctional Center. And here's a screenshot from a video I took. You can see they redacted this license plate in the parking lot. And I found this a little more than a year ago when CTV News Vancouver Island posted this story about the Wilkinson Road Prison. And you can see here, Todd Coyne, senior digital producer at CTV News Vancouver Island. Looks like you're using an image with someone's license plate, 183FJH, in a secure area. That's protected information. Hey, Todd, you're under arrest for obstruction. This is a security risk. So I found it very interesting that I can't take a video shot of that. That's protected information. But when the mainstream media show up, they can not only document this protected information, as the RCMP referred to it as, they can also disclose that publicly on social media and all their news outlets. They can actually, if they want, CTV is across the country. It's across Canada, so they could have this news story potentially Canada-wide. This poor person's license plate here, 183FJH. Oh my goodness, Todd, what were you thinking, bro? This is obstruction. Somebody go arrest Todd, quick. Hey, Todd, if you need any free illegal advice, hit me up. Yeah, sooner the better, Todd, because they're going to hit you up with the full force of our criminal justice system because of this. Or not. So that's it for part 17. Keep a lookout for part 18. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one. And after that, I think after that, every video is absolutely going to blow your mind. And I don't know what I'm going to be able to do to stop people from making thousands and thousands of calls. I'm going to have to go dig up some appropriate numbers for people to call because you're going to want them. Thanks for watching.